morning. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, St. Joe's. What's up?
Well, a lot of things are up.
It is. Look at this. We're both sitting here next to a Christmas tree wearing our Christmas outfits.
We are. Don't tell Father Gary, because he's all about Advent. He will think that we are preempting the joy of Christmas by being a little too Christmassy, but that's okay. Shh.
Well, we're preparing for Christmas.
We are.
Right.
And that's Advent.
It is. And Advent's next week, and we'll talk about that later.
We will.
But just this last weekend, we celebrated the feast of Christ the King, King of the universe, right?
We did.
And we all learned about sheep and goats. So just as a recap, I just want to ask folks, are you a sheep? Remember, sheep are on the right?
Mm-hmm.
Or,
I'm going to point out that I'm sitting to your right.
so you're a sheep.
Uh-huh.
And that, I guess, makes me a goat. So sheep, goat, or sheep.
I agree with what you said in your homily that we're probably all a little bit of both most of the time. There are those people that are so holy that they are probably always sheep, but
Right, and there are probably some goats out there too.
probably.
Yeah,
But I think most people are a little bit of both.
a bit of sheep and goat.
Yep.
Anyway, I just want to make a shout out to our own parishioner at the 9 o'clock Mass, Carrie Scribner,
Oh,
who drew these up because
really?
she was so taken by the homily over the
That's
weekend.
awesome.
So she had pointed out that I might be able to use these with young
Uh-huh.
Christians and talking about the
Yes.
sheep and the goats. And so thank you, Carrie,
Wow.
for doing these wonderful, beautiful illustrations, real simple ones, but
They
really
are
come
beautiful.
across with the point of what that parable was all about. So
Good job. She is a great artist. But you didn't tell me she had done those until
Yeah.
just now. I'm hearing it with everyone else.
yeah, you can have one of her cards.
They're great, Carrie. Good job. All right. So, speaking of Advent, Advent begins this Sunday, as you pointed out, and we have quite a few Advent things going on. So, now again, for details, you can go to the website or the bulletin. But we have this weekend, after all three Masses, the Justice Marketplace, which is our annual Advent marketplace where you can buy your Christmas gifts and yet support fairly traded items and also support Project Homeless Connect. So we will be here in Marion Hall after all three Masses. Hospitality will also be served in here. We are also doing the Justice Marketplace next Sunday after all three Masses. So
Great.
that's a 2-weekend event. We also have the Advent Festival, and that's open to all parishioners of all ages. And there's events and workshops for no matter what the age. And all are welcome to that. And that is this Sunday only, December 3rd. And that is from, I want to say 2:30 to 4. 2 to 4? Okay, 2 to 4. Shane corrects me off camera.
We have a good director.
We do. We do. He keeps me on track. Also, there's lector practice and training. So if you are currently a lector or interested in becoming a lector, please join us for practice and training tomorrow. That's Saturday, 9:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., and that will be in the church. Then we have our annual toy drive for St. Vincent de Paul. So grab a tag from trees. Here's one, Exhibit A. So there are 2 trees here in Marion Hall, and there are trees in the church narthex as well.
You should grab one. Not right now.
Not right now.
Yeah.
Off camera.
Yeah.
On your own time. Please return unwrapped gifts to the church.
Got it.
You can also bring them to St. Vincent de Paul, but I don't remember there's a time frame for that. So check the bulletin. I think it has the specifics about that.
And then one other final Advent opportunity. So next Tuesday evening, December 5th at 7 o'clock, the Ignatian Spirituality Center in Seattle is hosting an evening of prayer, poetry, art, music, and reflection. gratefully, this great program, which I've been part of when I lived in Seattle, is actually live streamed. And so, if you would like to take part in this, it's about an hour long, and it really is a beautiful gathering of people in Seattle and a larger group online. And the pastor of Seattle Baptist is going to present, along with a Jesuit from my former community, who's an artist in Seattle, Father Trung Pham. That's next week at 7 o'clock. You can get more information in the bulletin, which will also provide you a link to how to get the link to get online for the event.
Sounds really cool.
Yeah, really encourage you to make, maybe that's a great way to begin this Advent season.
Yeah,
And it's called A Weary World Rejoices.
I love that title.
Yeah.
And that's awesome.
So next Wednesday is the Golden Fellowship Mass and luncheon. Mass is at 11 a.m., followed by a wonderful lunch that our very own Mugs will prepare. And as a reminder, Golden Fellowship is for 55 and older. So I was thinking, Francis, since you and I fit the bill, maybe we could go to lunch together, join the group of older people here for lunch. I mean, I'll have the Mass, you can come to the Mass too, but afterwards, just enjoy lunch together with our older, mature population.
Uh-huh. Well, they might be older and mature, but I'm not sure we're mature, even though we're older. So we might have to bring that element of childlike immaturity to the group. What do you think?
I think that's great, yeah.
Okay.
And it's just good together. They're kind of like the sheep of our parish. They show us the way and how to be like Christ.
All right. And we have our question. So I'm going to ask you the question first.
Okay.
What is your favorite part of Advent?
Well, as you know, with me, there's never one answer to that. So kind of
Me
on
neither.
the spiritual side of things, what I like is the kind of the journey aspect of Advent as we move through the darkest time of the year. The promise of the incarnation, the promise of the light of the world comes. And I think it really works well in the Northern Hemisphere, because the darkest time of the year is the 21st, right? It's the darkest night. And that's just around the time of the promise of Christmas, of the light of the world coming. And then the days begin to get longer. So there's this kind of ebb and flow just in the seasonal calendar and Advent calendar. And then just more practically, the thought of being able to celebrate with the daily Mass community, day after day, with each of the readings and moving towards Christmas, I look forward to that. And then, of course, the celebration at the end of Advent, our Christmas celebrations on the 24th and 25th. Really looking forward to that, too.
Well, for me, I would say one of the things I really enjoy is going through Advent with those who are in RCIA, because for so many of them, whether they be non-baptized or whether they be Christians from other denominations, this will be their first Advent. They've really never celebrated Advent. And so kind of teaching them about Advent and how to live Advent, and just watching them experience that for the first time is really cool. It's definitely one of my favorite parts of Advent. But I also really enjoy some of the celebrations that we do here as a parish. So I always look forward to the Justice Marketplace, because that's something we've been doing for years. And it's kind of a hallmark of this place. And it's always like kind of buzzing with a lot of joy and anticipation, just like Advent. So I love that. So those probably be my two favorites.
Wonderful.
I love
look forward
Advent
to it.
wreaths, candles, that whole
Yeah.
ritual of lighting the Advent wreath. So yeah. All
I'm
right.
looking forward to the Justice Marketplace. I've never experienced that. So
Yeah, it's very cool. You'll
And it's
like
good.
it.
It's 2 weekends, as you recall.
It is.
Well, that brings us to some announcements for the weekend and a little bit about next week. So this weekend we celebrate the first Sunday of Advent and the rite of acceptance
and welcome.
and welcome at the 11:30 and 5 o'clock p.m.
Correct.
masses. All right, and Father Gary, our very own Father Gary, will be here for all three liturgies.
He will.
He'll preside and preach. And so that next Tuesday is the first Tuesday of the month. And so Father Woodman will be here from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock for Spanish and English confessions. And then next week, next Friday, is the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And so just a reminder that there is a 7 a.m. Mass. And Father Gary will celebrate the 7 a.m. Mass. I can't recall which deacon is preaching at that Mass. I assume it's Deacon Tom. I think it's Deacon Tom at that Mass. And then there is the 7 p.m. bilingual Mass. And I'll preside at that, and Deacon Jose will preach.
And you're taking some time off.
I am. I like to visit my family, my mom and dad, a couple times a year. And it's hard to get away at Thanksgiving and Christmas. It seems to be the time that the parish priest has to be around.
For sure.
So I have to go off, kind of like off season. So I'm leaving this evening for Seattle, and then tomorrow morning we'll fly to Milwaukee and be with my mom and dad through Sunday. I'll be back Sunday night so that I'm bright-eyed and bushy-tailed at the 8:30 a.m. Monday Mass. I'm looking forward to it. And gratefully, it looks like the weather is going to be a little cold, but no snow.
Oh,
maybe
really?
maybe a little bit of snow on Friday night I saw, but nothing to close things down. Of course, an inch of snow doesn't close down anything in Milwaukee like
sure
it does
doesn't.
here.
I'm sure a foot of snow doesn't
No,
close down
doesn't.
anything in Milwaukee. I was pleasantly surprised the first time I went to Milwaukee. I had very low expectations. No offense to you as a native Wisconsin. But I went there like, oh, Milwaukee. And then I ended up actually really liking it. It was pretty cool.
So I know we already had our question of the day, but now I want to know what makes Milwaukee so cool.
Well, so first
Other
of
than the
all,
weather.
I started with very low expectations. So it didn't have to do much to impress me at that point, but I loved like all the kind of waterways through the city, and I just thought that was really charming. And we took this really long walk, and we went out to that I don't know what you call it, like a waterfront or a pier,
Yeah.
like on Lake Michigan. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was cool. And then we found this place. Have I already told you the story?
No.
We found this place that does chocolate, wine, and coffee pairings, and it was really cool.
I think you did tell me this, and I need to get that so maybe I could take my mom and dad.
Yeah, it's this awesome. I mean, I don't even like drink wine, and I don't even like chocolate that much. Oh, no, it was cheese, chocolate, wine. And I found that they're still in business, because this was before COVID, and so I was worried maybe they'd gone out of business, but no, they're still there. And it's a really cool experience, really fun place.
So you all should go to Milwaukee, the great place
That's what I'm
on a
doing.
great lake.
Yeah,
It used to be
It is.
that's how they used to advertise it.
it's amazing. So anyway, have a wonderful weekend, and I at least will see you on Sunday, and safe travels to you.
Thank you, and we'll see you all through next week. Probably all of you on the Holy Day of Obligation, a week from Friday.
Happy Advent.
Happy Advent.